So we're going to retest the glow plugs on this Duramax this morning. I've got the amp clamp with a 1 millivolt to 1 amp resolution connected to a graphing multimeter on the main feed wire. That's the top one. And I've got a headlight connected to the forward post, goes to the glow plugs. Now the back one, back insulated post you can't see there, is for the intake heater, and I know that works because when I command it on I can see it. So I got the headlight set up here, I got the graphing multimeter set up, and I'm going to cycle the key and record current flow. Now I'm expecting probably 15 to 20 amps per glow plug, so at 20 amps that'd be 160 amps of glow plug current, plus about 3 amps for my headlight. So we're going to cycle the key on. I'm sure we'll be able to see the headlight in the peripheral camera view. And I'm going to turn the key on. Well, the headlight is on. And I've got 57 amps of current flow. Minus 3, so that's about 55. So I probably have 2 or 3 glow plugs that are working out of the set. Now, even though that's interesting, the light went off. I wonder if I got it on the wrong one. I'm going to use the scan tool to command it on. I just realized that likely that was the intake heater that was coming on, because both the intake heater and the glow plug control, glow plugs will come on if it's cold enough. It's about 20 Celsius in the garage here. The truck's been in all night. So I'm going to use the bi-directional controls of the scan tool to command it on, because I noticed the headlight go off before the current flow dropped, so I'm not monitoring the current flow on the with the headlight on the intake heater, so I'm going to command them on. So I'm going to use the bi-directional control with the snap-on scan tool in the output controls to command the glow plugs on. So key is on, headlight is on, 3.5 amps of current flow, which is the headlight. So none of the glow plugs are working. And the reason why this doesn't set a fault code is because the monitoring circuit simply monitors whether the relay turns on or off. So it's turning on. It's sending current potentially to the glow plugs, but none of them are functional. So that explains why this thing's a little challenging to start in minus 30 weather. So take the wheels off, inner fender skirts out. Somebody's done brake lines on this thing and not a very good job at it. They just literally ran these lines anywhere, not secure. Disconnect these wiring harnesses. Now the glow plugs are in back there. This is the early style with the bus bar, so if you wanted to test these with a test light or an ohmmeter, you'd have to disconnect them individually, and usually the terminals break off when you try to remove the bus bar. Now I don't want to take this downpipe, this cack pipe off, but I might have to. Just had that disconnected up there too, so well, I'm going to see if I can get the line. I might as well take this cack pipe off. Should come off easily up there. Yeah. Okay, let's get going. So there's the 4 glow plugs out. I'm going to test them with a continuity tester, but I'm sure they're defective. The main feed wire comes down to the back glow plug. There it is there. And then it goes across this bus bar, which we're going to clean up. And then the other side connects to the front glow plug on one of these wires. There's a wire here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. It goes across the engine to the other side. So I've got all the glow plugs out of this side. I did disconnect the steering shaft, but I was able to get that one glow plug out from behind there with a flex socket. And yeah, let's continue. So I found 2 of the glow plugs on this side where the nuts weren't even tightened. I think there was some engine work done to this thing some time ago, because the engine's painted, you can see. But nevertheless, all the glow plugs, all 8 of them, are So we're going to put a set of glow plugs in this. While we're in here with this, I had to take the cack pipe off this side to get access to this front glow plug. While we're in here, we're going to check the motor mounts because he's complaining about a clunk in the drive line. So those are glow plugs installed. I did have to remove this cack pipe because I had to do a power steering gear, and it was easier to change these lines with that pipe out of the way as well to get this hydraulic line. You see I've changed all the brake lines now and routed them properly. So glow plugs are installed. Make sure you clean these terminals with a Roll-Lock sanding disc, and I'm going to throw some paint on them, and then we're going to check the current draw on these glow plug set now. So we've got the glow plugs all installed. I still got the headlight hooked up to the output side, so that's going to draw about 3 amps. In a second I'm going to turn the key on, monitoring the current flow with an amp clamp on the main feed wire, and that'll read intake heater current, which is about 50 amps, and glow plug current, which I suspect will be about 15 amps per glow plug. So that would be roughly 120 amps for 8 glow plugs, I believe. 15, 30, 60, 120, yes. So I should see about 170 amps in my prediction here, and then the two will shut off, possibly at different times. Here goes key on. That's better. Okay, so 130. You can see the glow plugs heating up. Now the glow plug shut off. That's the intake heater. Now the intake heater is going to cycle off, and it might come back on as an afterglow or an after intake heat. I'm going to use the scan tool to command the glow plugs on by themselves. And I've got I don't have the headlight hooked up right now, so I'm going to command the glow plugs on with the scan tool, bidirectional control of this with the scan tool. Okay, on. 100 amps, 95 amps, and off. Exit. And intake heater. That draws about 50 amps. Intake heater on. 54, 55 amps. And you can't command both of them on, but they both will come on if the engine is cold enough based on engine operating temperature. So the glow plugs are working fine now. Now we have an idea of how much current they draw, about 100 amps for the whole bank, or both sides, probably 50 amps per side. So about 12 amps per each one, 12 and a half. We'll put this back together and get it out of here.